now here we have this conflict there in the Congo, and I would imagine now we're seeing all over the continent of, Africans really trying to, advocate even the more their independence, trying to break away from the Western and European powers. There's this whole new movement now. How does the African Union or other groups, collectives, look at the conflict that's happening in Congo? And do you, as just as an observer, do you see what could be the end, the most favorable end of that conflict?
Well, we don't know. It looks like the Eastern African Union, that sort of that collection of Eastern African countries like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and others, seems to be very pro-Kagame right now. They tried to say broker an agreement, but only Kagame showed up. Tshisekedi didn't take part in it. The African Union just recently had this week or last week just had their annual big meeting of all the African presidents. Paul Kagame was there. Tshisekedi did not show up. So it's not. And then, of course, the peacekeeping forces that were already present in Goma. We forgot to mention that how this was the largest peacekeeping operation in the world outside a couple of other places. But Goma was where the UN peacekeeping was headquartered. And some African troops from South Africa, for example, were there and were killed in the M23 advances. So there's now this running, animosity between Kagame and Ramaphosa in South Africa, for example, because South Africa is supporting Tshisekedi in the Congo because it's, sovereign territory for them and they're supporting them. But it looks like some Eastern African countries are saying, well, Paul Kagame kind of knows what he's doing and he's got control of it. Congo's a mess. There's so much corruption. We should be putting our cards on with Kagame. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out. Of course, the U.S. has now got completely disinterested. Many think that the reason why M23 advanced the way it did is because they saw the U.S. backing off, cutting of foreign aid. Under Obama, there was at one time an envoy for the Great Lakes region to broker peace in the area. But now, there's the sense that, this administration doesn't care. So Paul Kagame saw it as an opportunity. So whether or not the U.S. will have any sway in this to broker anything is uncertain at this point.
Yeah.
Going to fall to the Europeans. As you said, now Kagame loves it when, France and others try to assert themselves because he can always play the anti-colonial card whenever, like he did when the sanctions popped up. He says, well, this is just the same old from Europeans trying to keep us Africans down, so he's able
to been there before.
He's able to deflect that. So the solution is going to have to happen within folks on the continent. But there are so many other areas, we've got the Sahel region that's, destabilizing and also throwing off there's been a lot of coups in that area. So we have to see what's going to happen there. And then we've got what's blown up in Eastern Congo. So there's a lot on the table for the African Union.